Bionicle may have ended years ago, but that hasn't stopped the online community from still going strong over a decade later. Today I want to spotlight some of my favorite Bionicle content on the internet so you can check it out for yourself. If you're a big Bionicle fan, you may already know most of these, but for the rest of you, here's a quick list of the best Bionicle content on the web. Real quick disclaimer, this is just stuff I'm familiar with. I'm sure there's plenty more great Bionicle content on YouTube, but this is just stuff I listed off the top of my head. Starting with the official stuff, every single piece of Bionicle related media ever made, and I do mean every piece, has been preserved over at biomediaproject.com. The Biomedia Project is an amazingly complete collection of mainstream and extremely obscure Bionicle content from throughout the years, and whether you grew up with Bionicles like me or you're just checking it out for the first time, it's definitely worth taking some time to browse through the site's contents. Some highlights include every single Bionicle comic, backups of the old Bionicle website, every Bionicle video game, both the web games and the actual console games because LEGO was cool about it and let them host the ROMs there instead of suing them, every piece of Bionicle music, internal style guides from early in Bionicle's development which are just fascinating to read, and much, much more. But with all that great content, how are you supposed to know where to start? The website wallofhistory.com has compiled everything into a giant canon timeline that includes games, books, comics, movies, and more. If you want to get the full chronological Bionicle experience, this site is the way to go. There's a lot of stuff here, but you can configure it to only show you the parts you actually care about, which is useful if you want to read the whole story but don't really care about all the flavor text on every single Bionicle trading card. If you want an active community to talk about Bionicles with, r/Bionicle Lego is a very active subreddit, and the TTV Message Boards are a good place to go if you prefer old school forums. TTV is a channel that's all about Legos, and they do a lot of Bionicle content. They've got some cool stuff like a Bionicle Minecraft machinima and contest to canonize fan creations. Don't ask how that works, it's complicated. But the main series I recommend is the Recap Reviews, where a guy named LJ reviews every single Bionicle set. The man knows his stuff. My Bionicle knowledge pales in comparison to his, as was demonstrated when I was on his podcast. So check out the Recap Reviews for a trip down memory lane and maybe see some sets you didn't know existed. The Toa Inika storyline never got an official movie, but Noah Productions has made full-length movies of the storylines of 2006 and 2007 in his Bionicle Ignition series. These videos do a good job of distilling the story content from those years into a format which, for me at least, is way more digestible than reading a book. Sorry, Greg. So if you've got a few hours to kill, why not spend them watching some quality Bionicle fan movies? Vrahno, hope I'm saying that right, has a bunch of animations on their channel. My favorite one is the Bionicle fan film called Struggle in the Drifts, which shows Kopaka and Pohatu battle against Korok the Ice Bohrok. It has all the charm of the old Flash animations, and for capturing the spirit of those old cartoons in a new format, it's definitely worth a watch. TheBohrokMan has made a couple Bionicle stop-motion videos on his channel, and I have to admit they are a little better than mine. He made a great one called The Krana 7 years ago, and just recently he came back out of nowhere with an animation of the Lewa versus Onua fight. Those poor Bohrok Va just can't catch a break. Bohrok321, yet another Bohrok channel, has a bunch of stop-motion videos with an emphasis on fluid animations and flashy combat. His style really captures the feeling of a kid playing with their toys, with Bionicles, fighting Halo Mega Blocks, fighting realistic tanks with Play-Doh blood everywhere. My favorite video from him is called Sponge Wars Battle of the Lightsaber Planet, where SpongeBob and Squidward have a lightsaber duel in space, and it slowly evolves into two giant Eldritch monstrosities with like 5 million arms also having a lightsaber duel in space. I mean, just look at this. It's insanely good. Another insanely good animation is from Little Brotherhood Studios. Their style is really gritty and realistic and very unique. They've been working on a Bionicle movie for like 8 years now, and from the bits and pieces they've shown us so far, it's gonna be freaking amazing when they finish it. Check out their animation of Lewa fighting a Nui Jaga. If they can really make a whole movie that looks like this, that's gonna be absolutely incredible. And finally, if you grew up with Bionicles, there's a pretty good chance you also remember a little show called Arby and the Chief. Suddenly Oranges has made its Bionicle equivalent in his series called Reviving Bionicle. You can tell from his channel he's a big Halo fan, so the Arby and the Chief influence is obvious. It also does the classic long-running web show shtick of starting off as just a comedy, but then evolving over time into a more serious storyline, and it's a pretty good story too. The series is still ongoing, it's hilarious, there are 11 episodes out right now, I've watched them all a couple times, and so should you. So there's my quick guide to cool Bionicle stuff online. I know most of it was just YouTube, but hey, YouTube's kind of my thing. If you know something I didn't mention, please tell me about it in the comments. Everything I talked about is in the description, and I bet if you watch all those videos, YouTube will start recommending even more Bionicle stuff, which is a nice bonus. Until next time, this is Obo Shoes Games saying Hail Denmark.